Good day, viewers. It's still me, your anchor. My name is Ijongbola Gbenga, and I'm your anchor on Getting Fulfilled Benga. Firstly, I would like to thank all my viewers. Thanks to everyone that has been supporting me on this. Thanks to everyone that has liked my page. Thanks for those that are sharing it, those that are talking to their friends and family ones on it. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. And trust me, we are going to be looking at another great series this week. And this series, I tagged it, Count It All Joy. Count it all joy. As we move on, please don't forget to to subscribe and like this my page and share with your friends, and I pray God bless you. Now, Count It All Joy, it's my series for the week. We couldn't make a post last week's series, but it's fine. This week we are looking at Count It All Joy. You see, in life, I remember while I was preparing for this, I was inspired to look at the book of James. Yes, the book of James chapter 1 verse 2 to 4. Permit me to read it. It says, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, knowing that the trial of your faith work in patience, but let patience have a perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing." Count it all joy. In life, I'd like you to know that life is filled with trials. Life is filled with trials of various kinds. Various kinds of trials. That is one of the ingredients of life. I remember when I was talking in the You Can Rise Again series, I talked about something similar to this, that in life, falling is one of the ingredients of life. And in as much as we believe in God, we need to understand that we are not exempted from the pains and sufferings that comes with being on earth. But the bottom line for this is, when you are facing these trials, you are facing this for however place you are facing it from, you just need to count it as all joy. You know why? Because you know that at the end of it all, there is a great joy at the end of it. You know, at the end of it all, there's an idea that says there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Now, let me bring you guys to speed on what I'm trying to talk about. You see, counting it all joy is about responding with an excitement to knowing fully well that God is with you in every situation you are in. You see, there's a confidence you have when you count all your trials as joy, when you count it as a form of preparation for the kind of glory that is ahead of you. Now, counting it all joy means to exercise patience, to exercise perseverance, even in times of trials, even in times of trouble. Yes, the world is faced with a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations, a lot of issues. There is pandemic, there is economic downtime, there's a lot of things happening. But do you know the best you can do at this time of the season is to count it all joy, because you know that God is with you, because you know that there is a perfect end at the end of this haul. So count it all joy means to be joyful in times of trials, in times of tribulation. It takes high-level patience, high-level endurance. It's not just about saying, well, that's how it is, that's how life is. No, you just have to be joyful. Even when there are no reasons to be joyful, you just have to be joyful. It is part of counting it all joy. And it's one of the things that touches the heart of God. When God sees that you are happy, even in the presence of your tribulations, He wants to change it for you. He will definitely make a way for you. So I need you to count it all joy, whatever situation that you find yourself in. Also, I'd like to also talk about something. You see, we live in a generation where we want it all quickly. We don't want to wait. We don't want to persevere. We don't want to have patience. We want everything done now. In fact, some people will say we live in the Indomie generation. Permit me. That is not to castigate that brand, but what it means is we live in a generation where we want it all done now, within 2 minutes. Now. We forgot that there's a process. And that is why sometimes it leads a lot of people into falling into depression, because they want everything done now. They want fast cars, fast private jets, fast life, wealthy life, and it brings a lot of people into depression. Now, please, I would like to appeal to you that you take your patience, you learn to persevere. It is one of the ways to go through life on earth. It's one of the ways to go through life without being depressed. So don't forget, wanting it all happen quickly can lead you into depression. It can lead you into destruction. It can get you to do what you don't want to do, or what you should have never done in the first place. And another thing is, I'd like you to know that in life, okay, let me give you an instance. If you want to bring out an offspring, that is, if you want to give birth to a child, even as a human, or as an animal, there's something they call a gestation period. A gestation period is the period between when an offspring is conceived to when it is given birth to. Now, are you aware that sometimes when life is turning upside down for us, it is a gestation period? Now, let me remind you, when a newborn baby is in the womb of the mother, there are certain reactions that the baby reacts while trying while trying to understand the new environment. Now, don't forget there is a gestation period. Now, maybe your gestation period, your gestation period may even be in the future. So the bottom line is you should always learn to know that there is a gestation period, and one of the ways to enjoy or to endure the gestation period is to be joyful, knowing fully well that the gestation period is just the period between when you are being conceived, that is when the good thing is being conceived, up to the time that it is being given birth to. If you don't want to persevere or you don't want to wait, then you are not ready for the good thing that God has in stock for you. Now let's consider about 5 variables that has to do with temptations and trials of these times, and how to be joyful in this time of period, in this period, in order to count it as joy. Now, first is temptation and trials are not meant to kill. Temptations and trials are not meant to kill. They are meant to make one stronger. I repeat, temptations and trials are not meant to kill you. I have my own temptation, I have my own trials, but I usually believe that they are not meant to kill me. They are meant to make me much more stronger. Temptations and trials are not meant to kill. They are meant to make much more stronger. Permit me to read again James chapter 1 verse 4. It says, "But let patience have a perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Ye may be perfect." Before something is gotten into perfection, it has to follow trials and temptation. Before a gold can be mined into perfection, a gold is like a stone. In fact, some of us, if you have not seen a raw gold before, you probably will not even know it's a gold. You think it's just a stone. But when it passes through fire, the end result shows you, and you like, wow, I want that gold. But are you ready to wait? Are you ready to persevere through the fire, through the time it passes through fire? That is the very great question. Don't forget, temptations and trials are not meant to kill. They are meant to make stronger. Now, second variable I'd like you to know is temptation. Okay, permit me to share you a quote that I wrote by myself. I said, trials and temptation are the gestation period for the great glory ahead. Trials and temptation are the gestation period for the great glory ahead. So are you able, or will you be willing to wait? Will you be willing to persevere through the gestation period till you get to the glory ahead? While you are doing that, you're already counting all your temptations and trials as joy. Second variables I'm going to look at is trials and temptations are endured. Temptations and trials, when endured, can lead to blessing. If you read through James chapter 1 verse 12, it's clearly written there. Temptations and trials, when endured, can lead to great blessing. Now, third variable, temptation is not from God. Temptation is not from God. The Bible records that God does not tempt any man. Check the book of James chapter. In fact, that book is very powerful. It was written to admonish the disciples, and it was written to admonish a lot of people. Actually, it says, check James chapter 1 verse 13. So now the summary of James chapter 1:13, it says that God does not tempt man. Man is only tempted by his own self-lust and his own past or future craving. So God does not tempt anybody. It is we humans that tempt ourselves. And let me go to number 4. Lots of temptations and trials that we face in the world as human are not caused by God. They are caused by human. The temptations and trials we face on earth are not caused by God. They are caused by human. Some of it comes from our own inward desire, our own greed, our own covetousness, our own selfishness. I want this, I want that, I want this. Yeah, it's good to crave for something great, but when you do it too much, the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. Now, when you love something, when you crave too much for something, it can lead you into unnecessary temptation. Yes, most of the temptations we face are from our inward desires. If we are careful in what we put in our mind, what we aspire in our mind, then we can be able to walk through a lot of temptation. And the last variable I'd like you to know is, as long as we are still on earth, we are liable to face temptation. As long as we are still on earth, we are liable to face temptation. In little wonder in the Bible, when Jesus prayed, in the book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 9 to 13, that is where you have the Lord's Prayer. It says, lead us not into temptation and deliver us from all evil, because even Jesus himself knows that there is temptation in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for viewing this video. Please don't forget the series we are looking at is Count It All Joy. Now, counting what? All joy. Counting all your temptation, counting all your trials, counting all as all joy. And don't forget, there's a gestation period between when a good thing is conceived, when you have to wait and pass through the fire, and when you have to have the good glory. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your support once again. Please don't forget to hit and subscribe, hit the like button, and also subscribe to my page. And I'm going to share episode 2 of this series in a brief time soon. Thank you very much. Bye.